Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. In today's episode, we'll go over some Tesla news. We have a new note from Morgan Stanley. There are official range increases across the Tesla lineup. We'll go over a Tesla stock weekly recap. There was some misleading news out of Giga Berlin yesterday that we should cover. Some more global price cuts, a very nice software download new feature, and more. Quickly, thank you to each and every one of our patron supporters. Your financial support is greatly appreciated. Also, 2 episodes ago, I want to say thank you to everybody who reached out and sent your thoughts, prayers, and condolences. I read all of them and I really appreciate it. But with that, let's get into the news. Morgan Stanley analyst Adam Jonas, noted Tesla bear, raised his firm's price target on Tesla to $333 per share, up previously from $272, while keeping an equal weight rating on the shares. This revision is due to better than expected Q3 delivery numbers and the $5 billion capital raise. Jonas said, quote, "We believe that the company is in a better position to deploy its ride-hail transportation as a service business faster and more profitably than our previous forecast. Reductions in the price of the car and battery, improvements in the EV charging infrastructure, insurance costs, residual value retention, and other factors have also increased the economic inputs of our mobility model for Tesla." End quote. He also noted that the best specialists in a wide variety of fields want to work for Elon Musk. We have known this to be true for some time. Jonas also said that potential to grow the company's battery business was a key driver for midterm profit. I think one of the most interesting excerpts from his new note was when he said, quote, "We forecast a launch of 1,000 cars from the existing fleet in Tesla Mobility by 2021, rising to 500,000 cars by 2030. Which would account for 2.7% of our Tesla global fleet estimate by that year, which was 18.6 million units. Our previous assumption for the Tesla mobility fleet was 240,000 units by 2030. He continued, "We assume $45,000 per car cost versus $60,000 previously, and a 7-year useful life, along with other savings, driving our exit operating profit margin of Tesla Mobility to 14.7%. They use a 10% WACC, which is a weighted average cost of capital, and a 4% terminal growth rate, implying an exit PE multiple of 17.3 times. Taken together, our valuation of Tesla Mobility rises to $42 billion versus $7.3 billion previously." As you can see from that last line, this is about a 6 times increase in how they value Tesla Mobility into the future. So take this with a massive grain of salt, but it's good to see that even Adam Jonas is starting to become a bit more bullish on Tesla's mobility future. To round this out, Jonas's $333 new price target is met with a $716 bull case and a $108 bear case. Over the last few days, you've probably seen that Tesla's lineup has been getting some aesthetic changes, and now we get the official range improvements as well. Specifically, the $46,990 long-range Model 3 can now go 353 miles, which was a gain of 30 miles over the last model version. Standard Range Plus will last 263 miles, which is up from 250, while the performance version goes 16 extra miles now, up to 315 miles total. Of course, all of these ranges are EPA estimates, not yet confirmed by the EPA. We also get slight acceleration upgrades from 3.2 seconds down to 3.1 seconds for the Model 3 performance, and the Model 3 now has new wheel variants for different designs. Along with this, we get a metallic finish steering wheel, which there are some rumors that it's possibly heated, but this is nowhere yet confirmed on the actual configurator, at least that I've seen. But possibly the biggest news is we now get powered trunks on all Tesla models. I know many people were waiting for that, so that is great news. In addition, we get double paneled windows. And as you've seen, the center console has changed to more of a matte black look, with the spots for 2 mobile phone charging slots. Apparently, an unnamed source cited an efficiency package upgrade that resulted in these range improvements. Also, during Sandy Munro's teardown of the Model Y, he mentioned that manufacturing chrome has some environmental drawbacks. I think most people won't really care one way or another about the trim or the chrome delete. So, if Tesla can reduce the environmental impact and bring more parts of the Model 3 in common with the Model Y, which also has this chrome delete package, I think that's a good change. There is some level of debate in the Tesla community as to what this chrome delete package actually is. As you can see, it's not glossy, which led to some people saying it's like a powder coat finish. Is it electroplated? Is it anodized? Is it just straight up painted? If you guys have any insight or opinions, please share them below. I'd be very curious to know what it actually is. And while you're down there, let me know what your preference is. I think it seems at least that most people have been split on this, but let me know how you guys feel. A quick note from a Reddit user, MAHKUS11, posted yesterday about software downloads now actually show the download speed, which is a really nice feature for those who sit in their car and wonder if the download has frozen and they wonder what's going on. Now, here is to hoping that eventually the size of the download is included along with the percentage time remaining. I think that would be an even more useful feature, but the download speed is at least a good start to give users an idea of what's going on. Yesterday, there were a few sources that reported the water was shut off at Giga Berlin because Tesla did not pay their water bill. Fred from Electric, who as of late I will say is more of a seeking alpha writer in a sense where he has become a bit more bearish with his headlines and his approach toward Tesla. Perhaps it's because Tesla cut him off and they closed their PR department, etc. However, all of that aside, he mentioned that Tesla received multiple warnings, but they did not pay their bill. So the water supply was shut off, according to a spokesperson from the water supply company. However, on Wednesday, it was also reported that Tesla finally signed an official water supply contract for Giga Berlin, switching to a different water source. So although we'll probably never get actual details on what happened here, it's more than likely that because Tesla was transitioning to a new water source, the old source was not paid, something got lost in translation. It could have been as simple as the water company sending the bill to the construction company and it never getting to Tesla. But the important takeaway here was that some of these sources reported that construction was going to be shut down at Giga Berlin, which would obviously not be ideal for Tesla, even if it was just for a few days. But according to the drone flyovers and some locals who were actually on site, they said that construction did not indeed stop and continued without interruption. Twitter user GF4Tesla said that they were at Giga Berlin at 17 p.m. and could see the cement mixing plant was still working. Cement transporters were cleaned with water. It looks like the water is running. Now, I will note, typically on construction sites, they have large silos that are filled with water that they could actually use to clean out and refresh these cement trucks. But user Tesla Model 32 replied, as I wrote before, yesterday a new contract was signed between Tesla and the water utility. Probably today they switched from the preliminary pipeline to the new and bigger pipeline. So most of the reports that construction was indeed shut down can, for the most part, be ignored. Now, we don't have confirmation that this new pipeline is indeed hooked up and running, but it is a viable potential nonetheless. Needless to say, but Tesla is indeed still on schedule to complete this project by summer of 2021, where the Model Y will be the first vehicle delivered. To wrap up today's episode of Tesla News, I'd like to cover the Tesla stock movements in a weekly recap form, and hopefully this will be a weekly segment moving forward. This will be the chart that we're using, so real quick, I'd like to orient everyone to this. As you can see, when I move the mouse around, the box on the left will give you the open price, and this is day by day. So at the bottom of the screen, you can see the date. So right now my mouse is on September 4th. The high is the intraday. So during that day, it's how high the stock price was. Then you have the same for the low and the close. The volume is the number of shares traded on that day. Now, the percent change is going to have to do with the timeline of this chart. So at the top where you see my mouse circling, this is a 3-month chart, which means if I put my mouse on, say, October 12th, that means from the beginning of this chart, which if we go to the beginning, we have July 17th. So from July 17th to October 12th, we have a 47.3% increase. And same deal, go back to October 2nd. That would mean from the date July 17th to October 2nd, we have a 38% increase. Of course, the green bars at the bottom represent the volume. So as of 10/16, the volume was 11.5 million shares traded. The higher the bar, the higher the volume. The green bar means a positive return that day. The red bar means a negative return that day. So over the past 3 months, the high close was $498 back on August 31st, which happened to be the day of the Tesla stock 5-for-1 split. But getting into the weekly recap for this week, Monday was October 12th. We had the stock opening at 442. And the high this week, the high close was $461.30 per share. And as of the making of this video, it is currently Friday afternoon. Tesla stock is trading around $446. Additionally, you can see this week the volume was relatively low compared to the last few weeks prior to this week. And you can see somewhat of a resistance line here forming right around $460. So if and when Tesla can break through that 460 line, which could be as soon as their Q3 financials are released, we could see a bit of a run up from there. Of course, if you get into technical trading, that's a whole nother conversation, but it is somewhat legitimate to at least consider. But that will wrap it up for today's episode of Tesla News. If you guys are still here, I want to say thank you for watching the entire video. It really makes a huge difference and helps the channel. Please take a second to like the video if you learned anything and consider subscribing for more Tesla content. I hope you guys have an excellent weekend and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.